I'll try to answer this question as carefully as possible because I know that, you know, mm, mm, where's the balance? Like, where's the balance? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing fantastic today, and I want to say thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. Guys, today's video is a sit down chit chat. I haven't done one like this in a while. Most of my videos lately have been vlogs, and now I'm just like wondering, oh my gosh, how do I do these sit down videos? What do I say? How do I start them? So I'm actually just going with the flow right now. Like, everything, this is like the fourth time I'm doing this intro, and you know what I decided to do? To just be myself and say what's on my mind. So that's what I just did. But anyway, thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. I'm so glad to be talking to you guys. I'm bringing value today. I mean, I bring value all the time, but today it's a little extra. Meanwhile, if you're new here, my name is Oyinkon, and I'm so glad that you clicked to watch this video. I film about my lifestyle, motherhood, and just my life as a whole. I am a Nigerian woman living in South Africa, and that experience has been wonderful. So I just vlog and share and try not to overshare. But yeah, if you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'm sure you're going to enjoy all the content I'm putting out. Okay, ever since I moved to South Africa, I try as much as possible to put out content about my experience here, just sit down and talk to you guys about it, especially because I know that a lot of people, especially Nigerians, have lots of questions about what it's like to live here, or what it takes to move down here, right? So based off of that, and based off of those videos I have made in the past, right, a lot of people have sent me DMs over the years, over the past months, just asking one question or another. This video is going to address the frequently asked questions in my DMs. I'm not going to mention names or say, oh, this person said this or this person asked that, but I've basically compiled the questions that I get a lot of, right? And this pertains to both people who want to visit South Africa and people who want to move here for study or for work. Okay, so I'm going to be addressing the most frequent questions that I get asked, and I hope that the answers that I share today are going to really help you in your journey towards deciding and planning whether or not to move to South Africa or to come here for whatever you want to come here for, right? Let's get into it. I have all the questions and answers I'm sharing today typed out on my laptop, so I'm going to be looking at this screen a lot. Please bear with me. I'm recording with my phone, so I can't use my phone for this. Altogether, I will be answering about a dozen questions, and I really hope this makes a difference for you. Okay, so the first question. Okay, what's going on? All right, guys, let's get started. These questions are paraphrased, and the first one says, what is the cost of living like in South Africa? To that, I would say, honestly, the cost of living is fair. It's cheaper than countries like the US, the UK, Canada, if you were to look at it in that sense. But what I would say, though, is that it depends on where you go to live, right? Just like in Nigeria, for example, what you're paying to live in Ibadan is not what you're paying to live in Abuja, or in the US, what you're paying to live in New York is not what you're paying to live in maybe Texas or Chicago or something. So yeah, depending on where you go, the cost of living varies. In terms of the three major cities that most people know, if I were to rank them according to cost of living, I would say Johannesburg might be the cheapest, followed by Durban, and then Cape Town. Right? Obviously, there are other cities where people might want to visit or go to school, but those three major cities are like what I get questions about the most. So if I were to rank those three, I'll say Joburg is cheaper, followed by Durban, and then Cape Town. Rent here is also monthly, so you'll be paying your rent monthly, except if you have paid for the university's accommodation and you've paid for the whole year. But if you rent a place, you'll pay your rent monthly. So for students, I would advise that you budget between 5 to 10,000 rand a month. Give or take. 5,000 will give you a comfortable life if you were maybe like PMB. I lived in PMB because I went to University of KwaZulu-Natal in PMB. There my rent was around about 2,500 or 3,000 rand, and so an additional 2 to 3,000 will get me through the month as a student. So that's like 5 to 6. But depending on where you find yourself again, and depending on like your lifestyle that you're trying to, live, I'll just say budget between 5 to 10,000 rand a month, and you should be okay. But yeah, in general, the cost of living in South Africa is not that bad. I mean, it matches up with the earning power that you have here, really. So things work out. Things work out, okay? Also, there's a wide range of stores that you can shop from for clothes and your other essentials, and even for food. So you have ranging from like a ShopRite or even the street markets to a Woolworths. At the end of the day, cost of living for a person is determined by what you choose to buy, where you choose to buy, things like that, the experiences that you choose to chase. So at the end of the day, I feel like even if you don't have a lot of money to blow, you will still be able to live a relatively comfortable life in this place. So yeah, and besides, if you're a student coming here, you've already paid for your medical aid, so most of your medical procedures or seeing the doctor will be covered by that, so you don't necessarily need to worry about things like that. The next question I'll be addressing is, can digital nomads live in South Africa? And the answer to that question is yes. So recently, the South African government has put out information about a digital nomad visa that allows you to live in the country for up to 36 months, right? But there are terms and conditions. There are lots of terms and conditions to it. One of which is that I think your earning power has to be about 650,000 rands per annum, right? So if you're earning up to 650,000 rands per annum, you can, live in South Africa and work as a digital nomad. A digital nomad is basically somebody who works remotely and then can travel and work anywhere in the world, right? Because all of their work is remotely and not in person. For taxation for digital nomads, I believe that there are exceptions for certain countries where they don't have to register with SARS to pay tax. But I mean, because they are earning in other currencies and spending that money in South Africa, they are still contributing to the South African economy. So there's that. But I'm going to link an article in the description box of this video. It basically explains how to become a digital nomad in South Africa. I can't give you all the information, guys, because everybody's situation is different. It's important to research like the specifics of your situation. So I'm going to leave that link, and you can also just go on Google and check for like other information. But from the basic angle of things, yes, digital nomads can live in South Africa and work from here. And it's nice because, I mean, it's a lovely country. You get to do a lot of tourism. The country works basically, so yeah, living here would be a nice experience to just add to your life as well. The next question I'll be answering is this. It says, what do I pack per season when visiting South Africa? Now this is like I said, paraphrased. The person was asking particularly about visiting in August, and also I just paraphrased it to explain what to pack per season, right? So in South Africa, summer is like from December till April thereabouts. From May to August, you have between autumn and winter. So from May, the weather begins to get colder up until about August. From September to say November, we have spring. And so that's basically what the weather looks like around the year. So obviously, if you're visiting between December and April, you should pack, light clothes. It's not going to get so cold. It's going to be summer, and the summer here gets quite hot. So yeah, light clothes and stuff. And I believe that summer is the best time to visit anywhere, except of course if you're looking for like a winter wonderland experience. From May to August, because it's between autumn and winter, of course it's advisable to pack thicker clothes. But if you're moving here or you're coming here to study, then I'll just advise you come and buy your winter stuff over here, because hauling heavy clothes across countries might have you paying for more luggage and things like that. And then from September to November, it's like springtime, so it's rainy a lot, but the weather is still quite warm and stuff. Right now we're in the spring, summer is fast approaching, and to be honest, I'm loving it. Moving on, the next question says, how do I pay my South African school fees from Nigeria? Now, this is a really good question that I've gotten a lot of, because at the moment, making foreign payments from Nigeria is quite difficult, right? So the advice I would usually give people is, number one, get a dollar card with a Nigerian bank. I know that there are a few Nigerian banks that let you have a dollar card and convert money into dollars and with that dollar card you're able to pay make foreign payments. However, I believe that there is a limit on what those cards allows you to pay, so maybe that's not working for some people, but I feel like that's the first place to start. Ask your bank, tell them that you want to make an international payment of so and so amount, and let them advise what services they offer for you to be able to make such a payment. If your bank is unable to help you, however, I know that there are a lot of these startup finance apps that let you pay make international payments. They give you like a virtual card with which you're able to make payments, and for some of them their daily limit is like up to maybe 1 million or 2 million naira. So that's another way to go. Unfortunately, I won't be mentioning like specifics because I don't necessarily know which ones are still working or which ones are working well, and of course nobody has sponsored me to mention them in this video, so there's that. Also, another way to do it might be to send money to somebody here. So if you know somebody here who can pay for you in rands, you can also send money to them, maybe do an exchange if they need naira or something like that. However, don't send money to me because I will not be helping anybody pay their fees. Unfortunately, that's just not something I can put out for. But I mean, if you know somebody here that you're close enough to and you don't have any worries about losing your money or stuff like that, then by all means you can have them pay for you. Or if you know anybody in the US or UK or maybe Canada where they are also able to make international payments without it being an issue, then you might be able to send money to them and they would pay for you. But where there is a will, there is a way. So if you were to pay your fees or your SACWA money or your what else your insurance, your medical aid, I'm sure there's always a way to pay. For me, my husband was living here already, so we were able to just move money across Nigeria and South Africa between each other. Right now, this question I'm about to address is one that's a bit tricky because everybody has different, I guess, experiences depending on the visa you're trying to apply for, whether it's a visiting visa or a study visa. This also varies, and this is what is the minimum bank balance to apply for my visa. The principle basically is to have enough money to cover for your flight and your living expenses. So for example, if you were to visit for 2 weeks or a week, for example, if you know that in a week you should be spending around maybe 5,000 rands or 10,000 rands, then have that plus enough money to cover for your flight, plus maybe enough to cover for your accommodation as well if you are going to be paying for accommodation. So like I said, it varies from person to person, but that's just the guiding principle. If you're a student, I'll say maybe the equivalent of $2,000 to $3,000 in your country's currency is a good place to start. But don't hold me on that. I just feel like that's a good place to be, because your flight will cost about maybe $500 if you were to buy maybe a return flight, or $300 to $500, and so the rest of that should be able to cover for other things. So let's just say $2,000 to $3,000 is a good place for your account balance to be. Now, this next question pertains to people who are applying for a study visa, and this is one I get a lot of, and it's just about SACWA. What is SACWA all about? How do I apply for my SACWA? What do I need to send them? How do I need to pay them? Things like that. Now, SACWA is basically how South Africa would evaluate your existing degree. For example, you've gone to university in Nigeria, you have a bachelor degree, and you want to come here for postgraduate studies, right? You would have to submit your Nigerian qualifications to SACWA. They will evaluate and put you on something called an NQF level. NQF level 7 is for undergraduate degree, right? So if they put you on a level 7, then you have to come into the country to study a level 8 degree, which is usually an honors or PGD. If you put you on a level 8, you come in for maybe a master's. If they put you on a level 9, which is for masters, then you'll be coming in for a PhD, and level 10 is PhD, and that's the highest level, right? So essentially, you have to submit some documents to the board called SACWA, and then they evaluate, they give you your NQF ranking, and based on that, you know what you're able to apply to, you know what level you're able to apply to. For example, if you want to get a master's, which is a level 9, but they only put you on a level 7, then you can't go from 7 to 9. You have to do an 8. So there you would have to do an honors degree. I hope you understand what I'm saying. But if you go on the SACWA website, or you go on Google and search for articles that have been written about how SAQA works, I promise you all the information is there. The SAQA website is actually very, very detailed. So if you want to know more about what to submit, how to apply, how to pay, how much to pay, all of that, I would advise that you take some time to read the website. Don't just go and scan the website for like quick answers. Take some time, open each pop-up on the website, read properly, and then you'll be able to know what to do. You'll know exactly what to do. I know that it costs roughly 1,500 to 2,000 rands to get your SAQA evaluation done, and it takes about 2 to 25 working days to do that. So at the end of the day, no two SAQA applications are the same. So based on your specific situation, they would explain to you what you need to submit and how you need to submit. I can't say, oh, this is what I did, so this is what everybody should do. No, I can't do that. So yeah, at the end of the day, it boils down to you taking the time to really read articles about SAQA and also read the SAQA website and just follow the process step by step, and I promise you it's not going to be that difficult. Okay, now the next question here says, can I work and study at the same time in South Africa? And the answer to that question is yes. So a study visa, of course, is what you would apply for. You can't apply for a work visa and then come here and study. No, you can't do that. You have to apply for a study visa. However, if you were to work on your study visa, you are allowed, or you are permitted 20 hours a week, right? So if you're working Monday to Friday, that is 4 hours a day. 4 times 5 is 20, right? Yes. My math skills may be rusty, but I know my 4 times 5. You can work online jobs, remote jobs while you're doing that. You know, in that case, you wouldn't be employed by a South African organization, or even if you were, it wouldn't be like a big thing where it's a big role now and they're paying you so much money and you have to pay taxes and things like that. So if you were to do maybe remote jobs, be a virtual assistant, things like that, you'd be able to do that as well, as long as you just have your your tools, your Wi-Fi, whatever. But in terms of like formal work where there's paperwork and everything, 20 hours a week is what you're allowed on your study visa. Okay, next question. This is also for the study visa people. Are you allowed to have an accompanying spouse on a study visa? Now I understand why this question is coming up, because I don't know whether it's still a thing, but I know that in the UK, for example, and even I think even in Canada as well, there's a visa where you're allowed to accompany a spouse who is studying, and both you and the spouse are allowed to work, I think also 20 hours a week, right? But that does not happen in South Africa. In South Africa, if you're on a study visa, you can only cover for yourself. You cannot bring in an accompanying spouse on a study visa. So there's no spousal visa for students. People who are allowed to apply for spousal visas are partners of people who are on work permits, people who have permanent resident certificates, and people who have become citizens. Those are people who are allowed to apply for the South African spousal visa, right? Next question is about the medical aid. We call that insurance in Nigeria, but it's called medical aid here, right? And basically people are asking, how do you pay for medical aid? Why do you need it? How long do you need it? So for me, for example, I use Momentum. I find that that's actually the most popular one among students here. Momentum, I can't remember what the plan is called specifically, but if you were to Google Momentum medical aid for international students, you will see it there. Like all the information is there. For most universities in South Africa, you are supposed to pay for 1 year, right? So you don't pay that month to month, you pay for a whole year. I found on their website that they have a list of some universities, some institutions, and for some they allow you pay 6 months, some are saying 12 months, some are saying according to what degree you're applying for and how long that is, things like that. I don't know for sure though if when you go and submit your application at VFS, right, they check your documents, and I don't know for sure if they would be okay with a 6-month medical aid, but to play it safe, 12 months is what I know, right? So it might be helpful to call VFS to ask questions about this. But from my own experience, I know you pay 1 year of medical aid, and it's from the start of the session to the end of the session. And I know it costs about 500 to 600 rand per month. When I did mine, it was about 450 rand per month, but now I think it's between 5 to 600 per month. But like I said, everything you need to know is on the Momentum website, so you can as well just go there and get all the information. And if you decide not to use Momentum, I know that there are other insurance providers that serve international students. Unfortunately, I don't know what their names are, but I know they exist, so you might as well also Google and check what's available. But what I know that I have used and worked for me is Momentum. And please, with your medical aid, do not go through third parties or anybody. Make sure that you do it by yourself, because there's a tendency that third parties will give you a false certificate, and that is going to affect your renewing your visa or things like that later down the line when they have to audit your visa. So please don't do that. Make sure you go through the right procedure to get your medical aid for your study period. Next question, people are asking about the spousal visa for work. So basically, if I'm here working, am I able to get my spouse to come with? And like I mentioned earlier, the answer to that question is yes. All the information about that is on the VFS website. VFS is who you submit your application through, right? If you want to submit a South African visa application, you go through VFS. So if you go to VFS website, they have the list of all the different kinds of visas there and the conditions you need to meet to be able to apply for all those visas, as well as the documents you need to submit. So yeah, you can't do a spousal visa if you are a person who's working here and you want your spouse to join you. For work permits, it depends. You can't just get a work permit in South Africa. There's a lot of criteria that you have to tick off, right? So maybe I'll do a whole video about work permits another time, because it's a bit complicated and I need to do my research very well for that one. Or maybe I won't. I genuinely don't know. But if you want to get a work permit here, honestly, I would advise that you do as much research as you can. But yeah, for the question at hand, which is, can a spouse of a working person get a visa? Of course, you can get a relatives visa, which is a spousal visa. Okay. And that brings me to this next question, which is about arranging documents. Somebody had DM'd me to ask about how do I need to arrange my documents so that I can take them to VFS and submit and all. For this, honestly, I would say focus on getting everything that is on the list, right? So the thing about VFS is you first go online and you book, a slot to come and submit your application with them. And while you're booking that slot, you're booking an appointment. Basically, you are going to be given a list of documents that you need to bring for the visa type that you have chosen. I would say focus on getting all those documents together. Focus on making sure that all those documents are with you, and focus less on the arrangement. Of course, it makes sense to arrange them according to how they are listed on the PDF that you are sent. However, when you get to VFS, the staff there would also help you to rearrange if there's a need for that. I think that's all I'm going to say to that. Let's get into the last question. This one is a bit lighthearted, and it's basically just asking about the people of South Africa. How is it like living with the people here? Hope people are not hostile. Is it a friendly climate to live in? And to that, I would say yes, to be honest. So I will try to answer this question as carefully as possible, because I know that, So what I would say is, on a general basis, the people of South Africa are very, very kind people. Ingrained in the culture here is a lot of kindness and oneness. And to be honest, you will meet a lot of people who, embrace that and who value that. Okay. Unfortunately, you would also meet a few people who just cannot be kind to you because they have biases about, other foreigners, especially people from other African countries, like fellow Black people. It's an unfortunate thing, but it's just the reality. What I will say though, if I'm going to be honest, is if you were to look at the ratio or the percentage of, kind people to, hostile people, hostile situations, it's like 90-10, if I'm being honest, from my experience. Okay. So as long as you're doing things right, you're not also trying to look for anyone's trouble, you're not being disrespectful to the culture and things like that, nobody is really, really out to get you, except if that's just who they are. The majority of the people who I have met have been kind, they've been very loving. I have a lot of South African friends who, in fact, I cannot imagine my life without. Like, I have really, really good South African friends. And if you have been watching my vlogs and watching the videos on my channel, you would even know that by now, right? I have a lot of wonderful people that I have met in this country. That does not mean I haven't met my fair share of, unkind people, but I don't let it bother me. Even online, I feel like the majority of the, backlash I have faced for being a foreigner in South Africa has been online. But I promise you, a lot of people cannot even look me in the face and say these things again. And that's what I believe, because they actually just can't. Like, they're hiding behind their keyboards and doing this thing. So there's that. No matter where you go to in the world, even if you were to go to the US or the UK, you'll still meet a handful of people who are not nice, who are not kind to foreigners. At the end of the day, bad news sells. You would hear a lot of negative things before you hear the positives in most cases, because bad news sells. So yeah, what I would ask you to check within yourself is, if you really truly have a dream of visiting South Africa as a tourist or coming here to study or to work, are you such that you can be easily affected by the decisions of other people and how they choose to treat you, to the point where you would give up the opportunity to do something that you genuinely want to do for yourself? Would you give up that opportunity because of how other people may react? If the answer to that is no, then by all means go ahead and come here. If the answer to that is yes, whereas people's opinions or people's treatment really, really bothers you and affects you, then you might have to reevaluate. But at the end of the day, like I said, the majority of people that you will find here, in fact, a very great majority of the people that you will find here are kind people, nice people who aren't trying to go against you. Okay? And I mean, just pray to God that He will favor you and order your steps. All right, guys, my baby is about to wake up. Like, I can literally see her moving and she's about to start making sounds. So that is my cue to wrap up this video. Altogether though, I hope that this video has brought you value. I really hope that all the questions that I answered were relevant enough, and I hope that my answers were also helpful. I have left a lot of links in the description box of this video. The link to Sakwa is there, the link to how to become a digital nomad is there, the link to Momentum is there, the VFS link is there. Just everything I could find that I feel like would help you in your journey to deciding to visit here or study here or work here, right? So don't forget to click on those links, read the articles, go through what you need to go through, do your research, and I'm sure that you'll be able to make an informed decision as to whether or not South Africa is for you. I would like to thank you so much for watching this video. It means so much to me that you are here. Please do not forget to like this video. By liking this video, you're making sure that the algorithm sends it to other people who might need this kind of content. So please drop a like before you leave. Please leave a comment in the comment section. I want to see positive things. Let's keep it kind, let's keep it friendly. Okay, no room for negativity on this channel. I've said that a million times already. Like, let's keep it kind, let's keep it respectful, let's keep it positive, and I'll definitely love to engage with you guys in the comment section. If you have any further questions, if you want me to make any further videos explaining other things about relocating here, or even just lifestyle content that you'd like to see, please leave it in the comments. I'll be taking care of those as well. And most importantly, guys, please do not forget to subscribe. If this video gets 10k views and I only have 2k subscribers, where's the balance? Like, where's the balance? So please, guys, like, subscribing on YouTube costs nothing. It literally costs nothing, and it doesn't affect like your use of the platform in any way. I really need the growth this year, and especially as we are moving towards 2025. So please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much once again for watching. My boss is calling me now. It is time for me to go and attend to my baby girl. So I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.